Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Social Hotelier podcast with me, Sam-Erik Ruttmann. We have some incredible guest speakers lined up for you, including a Global Wellness Institute wellness influencer out of Vietnam, a deep tech expert who understands emerging deep technology trends out of Bangalore, India. So you are not going to want to miss out. But today, we have a very special guest with us. For the first time, actually not maybe in a long time, I have a general manager, a hotel general manager in Helsinki, and he is running the renowned and historical hotel Torni. A man who has no fear of getting out of his comfort zone. I noticed that he is, in fact, a contestant in the Finnish version of The Apprentice. I'm not sure if I could dare to do that, but he does it, and he's very active on social media, sharing his views about leadership. So welcome, Aki, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Sam-Erik, for having me. And as you said in your intro, at the moment, I'm totally out of my comfort zone. I'm using English partly as my working language, but I haven't had any podcasts in English before this. And I don't know, do you remember we had a lunch in Hotel Torni 1 month ago, and it took a couple of seconds from me to answer yes for your request to join you to this podcast because of my because this is not on my comfort zone, as I said. Yeah, but it is very nice to be here, and thank you to having me. Actually, I'm also GM for Solo Sokos Hotel Helsinki. So I have 2 hotels to run in Helsinki at the moment.
Well, I think that's a great responsibility to share 2 very different hotels slightly in different locations in the center of Helsinki. But when it comes to getting out of the comfort zone, I think that is a little bit of a trace of our industry, where we are every day is a little bit different, even though that's a cliche. But I from my career years, I noticed that there were frequently I had to get out of my comfort zone. One of them is to speak in public. I was very shy in the beginning of my career, and then you just force yourself. And then the more you train, the more you do it, the better you get at it, isn't it?
Yeah, and as you said, at the moment I'm competing in Finnish, the Apprentice TV reality show, and it was also a situation when I had to go out of my comfort zone because of all of those cameras and people around our contestant group.
Yeah, in fact, if I would be in the beginning of my career, I would probably jump into that kind of an opportunity also, like you have, because it's sometimes, you tend to learn about yourself during the process a lot, and then you mix, isn't it? Tell me, what are the things that maybe you have learned being a contestant in the Apprentice or TV reality show? I read those things that you make some commentary, which is nice to read in LinkedIn, and also you're on Instagram Live talking with your fellow contestants. But what are maybe just something that you have picked up along the way that you have learned about yourself?
Very wide question, but I think the main thing that I have learned so far, now you can see the episode 7 coming out soon. So far I have learned how to lead from different backgrounds, because all of the contestants have quite different background. Some of us have only lead themselves, and some of us have led groups or teams with 100 employees. So the main thing that I have learned so far is that how to look leadership from different backgrounds.
Very interesting. That is something. It's a great learning experience. I can imagine.
Yeah.
And I think when we are leading large teams, that is really the fact that even though we meet them in the hotel setup when we are working in the management, and people are not, they're coming fresh from an industry, so it's an opportunity to gauge this situation very well. But maybe we can now move directly into the industry and the hotel. What is the biggest challenge you face as a hotel manager now? You're running 2 hotels.
I think this is a general problem. Helsinki is still fighting against COVID time. I think we don't have so much international demand at the moment than we had in 2019 before COVID started. And I think that institute players, I mean, for example, Hotel Camp in Helsinki has recovered better than others.
No, that's interesting.
But in my opinion, all the players are facing the same difficulties and challenges. How the guest can be charmed again. How you can be fresh for your guest again after this COVID time, and how to integrate digital customer journey to be one key ingredient of the whole customer experience, forgetting the importance of face-to-face contacts.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's a discussion now in the industry with the people we talk about this, how the digital technologies and how that was a very difficult thing for hotels to incorporate into their systems because the owners were not willing to invest. Then came a little bit before COVID, and suddenly everybody got concerned. It became more of the keyless access to the rooms, and also how you could create your own journey to get from the booking and get into the room without actually facing a staff at times, because you were doing all your pre-registrations. But then it comes as an issue. Well, isn't about that you're meeting somebody and you have a real human voice, authentic human voice with whom you speak, and how you create that empathic journey while you're in the hotel. So there's a pros and cons on how this, and where do you see is the line to draw? So it's not too much digital, or is it something more we can do?
Hard question again. I think you can add many digital aspects to be part of the customer journey, but it should be customers choose what he or she want to use. There should always be a possibility for face-to-face contacts with staff. So we cannot forget that.
Yeah. If we look at Finland as a destination and also as a place to work, what are the Finland's competitive advantages from a global point of view, and how are these reflected in leadership?
I think COVID times once again point out what are our global what are our competitive advantages globally. In my point of view, these are safety, cleanliness, looseness. We have so much space here. for people to be in nature. And of course, our pure nature is one of our advantages. And I think somehow all of these are related to sustainability or responsibility. At least I think so.
Yeah, I think that I also agree with you. I mean, sometimes when I'm posting on my social media accounts and pictures from the nature, people were wondering, where is that? And I said, well, that's only 10 minutes away from where I live. So it's quite hard to imagine for people that how close we are to the nature. And also when we talk about a lot of people, Finland by population is a small country, and Helsinki is also small. And when somebody that you know who coming from a city that has 18 million or 40 million people, then they cannot imagine that there can be that you can be on your own, in fact, in the center of the town during a certain period of days or hours.
Yeah, I'm living in Lahti area, so it's only 100 kilometers north from Helsinki. So it's like a Helsinki suburban for some global travelers. As you said, that 1 hour from the capital city, it's not so far.
Yeah,
you can take it by train, and it took less than 1 hour to get totally nature from the city.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier about sustainability. What are the sort of key things that you could mention about how that is implemented in particularly with the hotel that you are with, and what are the things that as a guest you might notice, or maybe you're not noticing it when you are there?
In these 2 hotels, we are using renewable energy. So 100% of our energy it's from wind or water energy. So that's the thing that I don't think any main group of the travelers knows. But in generally, I think that you need to understand different ways to handle sustainability and responsibility. I mean, you need to understand how travelers with different backgrounds want these values to be visualized. About 10 years from now, sustainability was only a bonus. I think it wasn't like it didn't really drive any decision making then. Nowadays, people already care about nature and sustainability more than those days. So some people care sustainability regarding food, and they are very keen on from where their food comes from. Some other people want to live like locals and are interested in mystique of Finnish nature, for example. So you need to know what are the different ways to handle sustainability, and what different travelers from different backgrounds think about sustainabilities.
Oh, that's very, very well put. I think that's you really put a lot of spin into a different angle of the sustainability. I like that answer very much. I haven't heard anyone spoken so eloquently about this. So very well. Okay. Let's talk about a little bit about this. My favorite word, empathy. And the importance of empathy and being present emotionally with hotel associates. What are your thoughts on that? Could you speak about that?
Yes, I could speak about that. And actually, this is my favorite topic and totality where I think I'm good at. So I hope that I can get this right in English to you. I don't think that we are weak if we are empathic leaders. I don't think that it is weakness. I think it's just an opposite. When you are open for your team and honest about your feelings, they can show their feelings to you too. Then you are already one and huge step ahead or closer to mutual trust in your team. I think that time for authoritarian leading is over, should be over. Hierarchic company culture in a hospitality industry is something that should be dead. I hope so that it will die soon. It's not dead yet, and I want to see that I'm working with a bunch of great colleagues rather than work with the old hierarchy.
That you talk now, you're really speaking about the generation shift of how hotel managers, and not only in the hotel industry, but in generally in the industry, that you had this hierarchy, and how it was so easy in the past that you shift the responsibility upwards, and in fact you were not empowered to make a decision. So how do you empower your associates to make decisions so they don't have to ask Aki, come and make a decision on this one, or how do you go about that? And where do you draw certain borders where they can make that decision, or are they fully empowered?
I think it's better to make decision than not to make it. So if you think that this decision was wrong afterwards, then I think the team or employee that make that decision hopefully learn something about that. So I think you need to be like a role model and show that there isn't any point not to make a decision, but it's more important to make decision than not to make.
Yeah, I think
So you have to be an example and role model for your team.
Yeah. In terms of skills and abilities that the managers should have in order to be successful in industry, what are maybe some key areas where anyone should train themselves or learn about, so they can become a manager that can lead a team in the way that you are describing it?
Of course, empathy is one. You need to be empathic in every aspect. And then one very important thing personally for me is that you need to be how you can be emotionally present when you are not even on the same location physically. As I said, I have 2 hotels to manage, so it's not possible to be in both places physically at the same time. So I think everything is going around trust of your team. So when you are physically in some other place, they need to trust you and know that you are reachable, you are easy to reach, so they can pick a phone, call you, and know that you are reachable and you are emotionally present all the time.
Yeah. There is somehow I have noticed, and also my colleagues that I meet when I'm connect with them, that we have lost a lot of talent to other industries, and of course I'm worried about that because it's industry, and the hotel industry is a passion, and you cannot always say that it's a passion that you should stick with it, but there must be something more that you need to consider. But how could the new experts be attracted to the industry? What are maybe some key areas that you think should be paid attention to?
At first, employers should reclaim their company's promises in every single day. That's the main point. You have to you need to act as you promise in every single day, every damn moment. If you are incoherent and act against what you have told your employees, you will get caught from it immediately, I think. So you need to be honest and open-minded in every second. If you do so, you might deserve your employees' trust, and with that trust, your team can do anything together, which you decide to do. So talk less and do more, I think.
That's very good.
That's very important.
Yeah, I read somewhere, and also there's some companies, some hotels that they realize that that nowadays when you start your people who start their careers, they don't tend to stay in the same job for a long time, and now the hotel companies that create what they call a portfolio career, that they are creating a help somebody who has a passion for this, help them to learn about different skills so they can do different things at different times, and particularly some jobs might be disappearing because of the technology, so they will have to learn new set of skills. What are your thoughts and advice to a person who said, well, I could consider to work and maybe consider this as my career? What advice would you give them, how to go about it and how to choose the place to work?
Do you mean that employee want to work in specific hotel and in different departments, or what do you mean?
I mean that there's you're going to school, maybe a hotel school, or you're thinking about, it would be nice to work in a hotel. How to go about choosing the place when you choose the hotel for your career? Is it that you get a fixed job, or is it an opportunity that say, well, maybe they open up for me a chance to advance myself, so I see I can learn a lot of things, so I'm not stuck behind the desk for the rest of my life, but I have a chance to grow in that industry. And what are the things if I'm just considering what questions should I ask the recruiter or even manager about whether I should choose that particular home?
That depends a lot what the company thinks. I think I'm sure that whole industry is facing that same is it problem, wrong word I cannot say, but the same problem that young people want to learn, want to try different tasks. So if you are forced only to do shifts in reception, it's not, can I say, sexy at the moment. Young people want to learn more. They want to be flexible. They are flexible, so companies also should be flexible for them to try different departments and tasks. So if they are doing that, I think they can get employees now and days after.
I noticed that you are very active on social media. I see you on Instagram Live. You are posting interesting commentaries in LinkedIn, etc. Now, in the situation about hotel associate working in a hotel, do you encourage them to do posts about their job in the social media, or does the hotel have a policy about this, encouraging or discouraging them to be active on social media relates to their job?
Yeah, of course, I encourage everyone to post in a social media, and I think at first you need to know your own values. What are the most important things in your life, and when you know those, then you can create that post around your values, and it's more likely personal branding than a marketing thing for your company or for the company you are working for. And when you have create your own personal brand, I think it's partly a marketing thing after that for your company also.
Yeah. Yeah, in a way, you can also see that they can be your brand ambassador. And
of course.
Yeah.
Of course, they can.
Good. I'm sure you have heard about this big buzz about the chat GPT and artificial intelligence and all that stuff. What are your thoughts? Does it fit into the world of hotels?
I have used a chat GPT once or twice for marketing texts, and I think it's very good for that. It's very easy to use and save a lot of time. And I think AI is here to stay. I think so. It's not a fad. I'm not so inside that genre yet, but I think I need to learn more, and it will be integrated into the hotel operations in the future, but it won't exclude a need to face-to-face contacts. So it's a good addition, but it cannot be the core.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, the artificial intelligence in that sense have also the opportunity that because there's so much data that people are sharing about themselves, and also it helps the hotel that you can even hyper personalize the stay for them in the future. That they are, because anyway they are might be in social media, they have a profile somewhere about the likes and dislikes, and also can help the hotel to pleasantly surprise them during their stay if it's done in a very smart way, not to use to spy on them, but in a smart way.
That's correct.
Yeah. It's great to discuss these topics which are relating to this industry. Are there any tips or tricks you have for running a successful business that hasn't been shared yet? You shared already some insight.
No, I don't have any tricks or magic tricks for running a business. You only need to be ready to work hard in every single day, and you need to be keen on people. You need to love people. You need to love good experiences. So it's just a work that has to be done with the right people-centric attitude. So yeah. I don't have any magic tricks.
All right.
Only hard work.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? Well, I have one more question for you before we wrap up, and it relates to many things that we have talked about. But how would you describe a meaningful experience from the guest point of view? What makes their stay meaningful? And
Hmm. Generally, I think that meaningful experience should be at least authentic somehow. It don't have to be the most epic moment that you have had in your life, or the most unique experience. But at least it has to be true to the guest or guest who experiences it. Actually, I think I had my last or latest meaningful experience 2 months ago. I was visited in Puukarin pysäkki in Valtimo. It's a Karelian restaurant and guest house in Valtimo. It was very nice visit. We had a dinner and one night over there. It was true local experience for me, and then I remembered why Finnish traditions are so good, and I think that those are one thing we have speak public more.
Very good. Yeah. Thank you. So, lastly, if people are interested to find out more about your activities, how can they do so? Where can they find you or reach out to you?
I'm posting mainly in Finnish, as I said, as we started, but you can find me through LinkedIn, Facebook. I have some Instagram lives around the Apprentice at the moment, as you said. I like also. I'm very keen on watches or running. I like to run. If you want to get know me better regarding these things, you can reach me through Instagram. So from these channels, Aki Keskitalo, you can find more.
Very good. Well, Aki, appreciate you joining today's episode, and thanks for all the really interesting and insightful ideas and thoughts that you have made for viewers today.